I'm gonna point out I'm on the corner of Railroad and McKinney. And then this is 611 backwards, 911. And shit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I'm following the railroad, the underground railroad and shit. You hear me? What's that? Hercules earlier today. This is the Sherman building. Sherman. You know what I'm saying? Hercules. Okay, look at it. If you take the S off, it's Herman's. You hear me? 1996, you know what they do with the 9s and the 6s. This is off the square off of Hickory Dickory Dock at the loophole. You hear me? Because we living in the motherfucking loophole. That's the bank building down there. This is the Wells Fargo. And this is the motherfucking courthouse that look like some bullshit. But anyway, Aladdin's Castle that ain't supposed to be here, but ain't nothing else in around this building match that shit. You hear me? Anyway, but that's the loophole, 96, 69. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway. The A train, I just walked that train. The A train, that little tower, the clock tower, whatever, that's the A train right there. City Hall and the police station right here. Frame Street right here where it dead ends. And then to go on the other side till you cross the street. So I'm finna cross the street, because if the track would have continued, it would have continued down here. And we all know what tracks have underneath it is water. You see me? Okay. So when you cross the street on McKinney, let me get to the other side. Let me show y'all. To the 8 train. Because if I was to continue to go straight, where that clock tower is, Hickory Dickory and shit. You hear me? Here to this other side, which is, you see that? It's water and the bridge and all that other shit. But it's crazy because I done told y'all there's another track that is, that's right here, that is not the A train, because this train goes from here to Dallas. This train go all over the motherfucking country. You hear me? You hear me? Anyway, I'm gonna get to the side of this train. Shit. Since we putting horns together and shit. You hear me? We watch slave movies and stuff like that when we became free. When we would go to Canada, because we can. Anyway, so when we go to the north, they would walk the train track. You hear me? To freedom and shit, It's twice as nice over here. You hear me? Anyway, I'm just showing y'all the motherfucking obvious bullshit because of lies they done told. You see all this water and shit? Now, if I was to continue to go straight on this train track all the way down to go to Gainesville and stuff like that, but it passed the little corn chips off the bridge and stuff. But I noticed a trend with that too, but I ain't even gonna go there in this video. I'm just trying to get down from this goddamn hill without falling. You feel me? And for those who don't have no motherfucking roots, when I say Canada, ADA, Can ADA. What's ADA? Empower and shit like that. Anyway, cause I can, I had to get on the street because that railroad, I'm not going to Gainesville. I'm not walking. I'm not doing Bobby Holly. You hear me? For those from Battle Creek know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I get over to Bell Street, which is this Bell Street that I'm on. Like Liberty Bell. It's this BC Seed Company right here next to Old McDonald Dennis Farm, Dennis the Menace and shit, you know. And it's another bridge of water, troubled water over here, you know what I'm saying, off of Mingo, Bingo, and Bell. Mingo and Bell. You know, because I'm going to Texas Women's University. You see that building right straight ahead off of Bell, like Liberty Bell, you know, women and shit, you know. Anyway, we passed this farm, you know, Dennis the Menace farm, like Old McDonald. But anyway, I'm just saying, ooh, this stink over here. Always look at the ground too, because you know this is a general system, you know, but this is telephone. That's what they say now. You know, since we ET phone home, and this is right by motherfucking Dennis the Menace farm store and Massey. Y'all know what happened with Sandra, right? Anyway, and it's a white sign with black letters of Massey too, off of Acme Brick. But anyway, this is Bell Mingo, like, you know, Mingo Bingo, like the MBS store and shit. And then this is Texas Women's University. It's pointing. Y'all see that shit right there? That's administration. That Bell Tower building, whatever. Anyway, as I cross the street to get to the other side of Bell and Bingo, you know, I'm crossing the street again, and it's a civic center, which is Denton Civic Center, you know, which is federal, right? Since we being civil and everything, you know. And then, you know, there's a lot of shit over here with the government over here in this area. I done made videos on this, and it's also a pool and a senior center, you know, parks and recreation, because, you know, all that shit is a factor. And behind that, the Civic Center sits Emily Fowler, because they've been foul as hell. You hear what I just did there, Old McDonald? Library. And you know what they did at the library, the books and shit like that, the burning and all that stuff, you know. But anyway, you know, like I said, I've made videos on this shit before. I just wanted to give y'all a brief little tour, because over here, when Jesus walked on the motherfucking water and shit, he did a lot of goddamn shit over here off of this Civic Center. And the big ass splash pool bag, you know what I'm saying? Like, prove that. But anyway, there's a lot of little dippity-doo-dah-day bridges and all that other stuff. But the puzzle pieces to this starts in the hood over in Freeman Town, y'all. Freedman Town, y'all. Because this area used to be called something else. I done forgot. But what the hell was it? Let me think. It was something over here. But anyway, they do a lot of music stuff over here, like Blues Fest and Jazz Fest and all that stuff, because, you know, it's a frequency and everything, and music is a motherfucking factor and everything over here off the Civic Center and shit like that. And Emily Fowler Library sits right here after you cross that little water dippity-doo bullshit over there. You hear me? And then it's a women's club that sit next to this goddamn library off of Marshall, Fire Marshall Bill. But if you flip Marshall, it's War, right? Anyway, and if I was to go straight off of Oakwood, you know, because this is a root. We grow like trees. A tree is wood. You know, wood is a root, right? But anyway, if I go off of Oakland and keep going straight, you'll pass the post office again, which is federal, because that sits on the corner. Now, this is off of McKinney Street, because we all kin. Old Mick Kinney, McDonald's and shit. So anyway, you hear me? What I'm saying? Because we all connected by one motherfucking source, right? So anyway, if I go off of, oh, did I say Oakwood? I meant Oakland, my bad. Anyway, because, you know, we done landed, you know, the Eagle and shit. You hear me? So anyway, Oakland is where this library sit at. And I think it's Marshall. But anyway, what was I saying? The post office is over here. The old courthouse is over here, off of McKinney. But then you keep going straight. You pass Carroll, which is car and roll. This is our car. Oh, actually, it's Congress in Oakland. And Congress is shouting at you. When I get to it, I'll show you what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, okay, so the Black Pearl is off of Congress. So I'm walking Congress now. I'm gonna show you Oakland and Congress. You see how Congress is capitalized right here, and Oakland is not. Okay, so I'm gonna walk Congress all the way down and show y'all what the fuck is down here, because there's a lot of shit, like Calhoun Middle School. It's a lot of brown signs with white letters, like the Black Pearl and all this other shit. I can name the signs, but I just want to show you, you know. Anyway, because I'm tired and I don't feel like showing y'all this shit over and over again, because we living in a loop and I keep repeating myself. But after I pass Austin in Congress, you know, it is a couple of streets down, and I'll get to Denton in Congress, you know, because Congress is federal, right? And again, Denton has the first federal underground center. And Congress, like, these streets is be talking. That's all I'm gonna say. And I smell barbecue, because don't let me get to talking about because they fried us and all this other shit is over there too. Like, y'all, this shit wild in the bitch. But I wanted to make it to the store. That's what I wanted to do, because the store just opened over here. My neighbor just told me about it. But anyway, I'm done. I'm tired. But it's a lot of brown signs with white letters over here, because this is supposed to be a historical area after I cross Carroll, you know, because McKinney all of a sudden turned into Pearl. What? You know, but when you flip it and everything, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, locust, and you know, locust is in the Bible as the revelation and shit, you know. And the locust start flying around this motherfucker. You see it? I know what happened. Right. Right. Anyway, so this is locust and Congress. Both are yelling at each other, you know, at Loco Cafe. Because that's the chaos right there, you know what I'm saying? To try to make it believe that you don't see what you see in the sea level that you don't see. You hear me? Anyway, fucking flowers for real. I'm done. I done made it to Nightmare on Elm Street and Congress, and I ain't going all the way down. But like I said, if I was to keep going straight, you know, all the way down, continue straight all the way down, you know, this is the voices of Jesus and shit is what I hear when Jesus walked on water and shit, you know. Anyway, and since we playing sky guitar and shit. You hear me? I gotta say this, if we were to continue down Congress, we'll run into a street called Alice, a street called Crescent, a lot of goddamn streets that, like Houston is a brown sign with white letters. Denton is a white sign with black, or brown signs with white letters. So is Oak and Hickory and all that. You know, all these brown signs with white letters. And Pearl is also, and then Marietta. And if you flip it, you know, it's war. Ieta, you know what I'm saying? I, motherfucking old TT Crossroads TT, you know what I'm saying? ET. Phone home type shit, ETA, you understand what I'm saying? With Houston, because we got a problem and shit. But anyway, y'all be blessed though, because now I got to make my long track home. You hear me? Be blessed. God gang is in the building. Y'all see the post office right there? Off of Locust and McKinney. Pointing out the obvious, because these streets be talking. You know, we in a box, right? We in a square and everything, you know, because the square is a box and all that other shit. And they keeping us in that motherfucking box. And you see how the visitors, you know, home and visitors, You understand what I'm saying? With the team and shit like that, basketball, and the DCTA Transit. You hear the music? Center. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and then the next building up is Hercules. Now I made videos on Hercules, and Shuck Me, and this M one source or some shit like that building. That's it right here. You know, telephone. But anyway, y'all be blessed. I'm done. What I'm saying is, we living in a loop, which is a circle, and it go round and round to infinity and beyond, like the number 8. And it's a loop 288 that holds the First Federal Underground Center. And we living in the box, like the pizza box. And that's the Holy Trinity, because it cuts like the what they said, the Father, the Son, and whatever. They didn't include the Mother and shit. You hear me? And since didn't have the, you know, Texas Women's University, shit, let's sit off of Liberty Bell. That's telling you something. Anyway, just give me our little history lesson on the bullshit. And Pecan. So Keith Lee did a motherfucking review of this place right here that sells some maca, some bullshit or whatever, that sits off of Cedar. Cedar, you hear me? And Pecan. Anyway, and ever since he did this review, because she only had 1 or 2 visitors, this motherfucking line is out the goddamn door. You hear me? But we living in a loop though, you know. Yeah, I just don't see what the fuck I see. I see it totally different, because we living in a loop. But y'all be blessed though.